Hello everyone, welcome back to another Deconstruction Gaming live stream. Tonight we're going to talk all about mods. That is our goal for tonight. In general, we're going to talk about what they are, how to install them, how to set them up, and then we're going to go through the mods that I personally use in my different playthroughs and stuff like that. So let's get some questions out of the way first. The first one, hopefully everybody knows, but we want to be complete. What is modding? Modding is changing the game in some way, usually by installing some third-party content or piece of code or whatever. It can mean a lot of things. So for instance, for those of you that were with me last night, I started a brand new save. And in this save, and right now this is completely vanilla. I have no mods installed right now. But you will, if you remember, I had a cat. And now I have a dog. Now there might be a mod for this, changing your pet. But I didn't want to install a full-on mod, so I took the risk. And I went in and manually edited my save files and made this change. I don't necessarily recommend that for everybody. If you corrupt those save files, bad things can happen. There are backups, but it was just a mistake on my part. I meant to pick this dog in the character creation, and I just forgot to do it. So I went in and made that change. Now, there might be a mod for that. I don't know if there is or not. But you'll notice that, you know, if I hit my G key, I've got no mods. None of my screen stuff is popping up. All the things that are normally part of my modded playthrough here are not there. And this kind of brings up an interesting point for Stardew mods as well. In general, not always, but in general, mods don't change the save file directly. Right? I could play this save file from here on out with no mods and it would be fine. Now there are some exceptions to that. Especially for content mods. So if we jump out and we go into one of my, I use these saves just to do crazy modded stuff. On this one out here, we have the tractor mod installed. And so up here, we now have a shipping bin with a big, whatever that little no Ghostbusters thing symbol is. And we've got a horse sitting here. So the mod maker used these objects to create the tractor garage and tractor. I can actually get on the horse, and it's now a horse instead of a tractor. So if you do content mods, you could find yourself, if you take the mods off, in a situation where things no longer work. So for instance, this was all set up for the automate mod, right? Well, with the automate mod not installed, if we come in here, we'll notice all of my auto grabber stuff is in here. When the automate mod was installed, it took the stuff, put it in the Junimo chest. Then this Junimo chest auto-fed all of these things. So things might not work the way they were before. But, you know, it is definitely one of those things that you want to be careful with. Especially if you're playing a save with and without mods. You don't want to do anything. Now, again, none of the save data in the save is actually a problem. Not 100% sure what I could do with this. Actually, I've never tried this, and we're going to have to manually do this because I don't have my mods installed. Let's see if I can even get there. There we go. No? Okay, let's go this way. Okay, my horse is stuck. There we go. Maybe this way. So let's head in. We'll head to Robin's here, and we're going to see if what we can do with this item that's broken now. Glad to see everybody. Nancy, welcome to the chat. Dread, good to see you. Adara, always good to see you. Thank you for joining. We do appreciate it. But as you can see, the game is playing as normal. And this one we have had all of our cheater mods on. And everything like that as well. So if anything was going to break, it would break on this one. Okay, once we test this, then we'll get into some of the nitty-gritty of modding. So we'll hope. There's Robin. Gotta wait for Robin to get up. Deb, good to see you. You can demolish it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is we're going to be able to do in here if you wanted to get rid of it. Victus, good to see you. Thanks for swinging by. Now, obviously, it's Tuesday, so we're going to do a little bit of a exploiting move here. I believe Robin will be going to yoga, but as long as we click here, when she gets close enough, we'll be able to access this menu. So yeah, if we come in here, first we'll see if we can move it. Yep. Now notice that the outline is a different size than the graphic. You can see the shadow is there as well, which is kind of interesting. So we can move it. So we can still interact with it, and then demolish buildings. Here we go. So if we wanted to get rid of it, there we go. So we fixed the glitch essentially in the system, right? Now let's go ahead and we're going to completely exit the game here. And I'm going to turn on, and we'll talk about how I'm doing this. I'm going to relaunch the game with all of my mods on. This will take a second because it now has to reconfigure everything. I'm using a program to do this. Now, one of the things that I've seen as a question is how can you have different groups of mods running? We'll hit on that, as we start to talk about the setup. There's multiple ways to do this. I will show you what I'm using. You don't have to use what I'm using, but there we go. So the game fired back up. Now you're going to see all kinds of stuff firing up, right? I've got, mods stacked on top of mods. And we're going to go right back into that same save file. Now remember, I didn't save. We just exited. So, and everything should be back to normal. We should see, we might not get out in time to see it. All right, there. All of our mayonnaise machines are now running. They loaded stuff in from there. If we go into our, there's nothing in there now. Our tractor garage should be back. We're moving fast again. So all the stuff that is now back. So again, nothing in the save file for that. Lydia, good to see you. Happy to have you with us. Hope everybody's having a good end of their weekend. Okay, so with all that being said, I'm going to completely exit the game here. And we're going to start to talk about, I'm going to move you guys over to a different monitor. Classy, good to see you. Okay, so if you want to get into the modding scene, so the first couple of things we want to talk about, you'll hear some definitions thrown out there occasionally. One of them is vanilla. I'm playing the game vanilla. If you hear vanilla, what that normally means is non-modded, right? That is the original way the game was actually released. So if you ever hear that term, that's what that means. So there we go. We'll drop Classy's link into the chat. Did you just get done? I thought you were streaming a little bit ago. Okay, so my very first playthrough, completely vanilla, no mods installed. Now there'll be different people who will have different ideas on what's going on there. So I see Victus chatting. We'll throw Victus's link out there as well. If you want to see soda reviews, not necessarily Stardew Valley. I am a proponent, but again, we do believe in play the way you want to play, but I am a proponent in, before you go crazy on making changes to something, experience in the way it was originally designed. I believe that in games. I believe that in other things as well. So when I played my very first playthrough, I made sure that I played a vanilla playthrough. And we went all the way through to perfection. When I started, I didn't even know the term perfection existed. I went in relatively blind, and we played all the way through the game. And then as I played my second and my third series, two of which are active right now, we're going to talk about the mods I'm running in those. I went into those with a feeling of what I liked about the game, what I didn't like about the game, what I wanted to update, and things like that. So I am a believer in that kind of a thing. Okay, so I'm up here on the Stardew Valley Wiki. The Stardew Valley Wiki will have a section, if you scroll down under gameplay, called modding. If you click on this, this is what I use to teach myself how to set up mods, and then I went a little bit beyond what's in the wiki. There's a couple of sections here. Unless you are making mods of your own, don't worry about the stuff down here. But this using mod section is actually a relatively good guide on how to get yourself modded. Yeah, Deb, so it's a great way to get a feel for what the game has to offer. If you start modded, sometimes you might actually miss some aspect of the game. And again, that's just my personal playthrough. If somebody wants to play modded the first time, cool. I don't have a problem with that either. Okay, so they have a whole get it started here. Installing, find mods, mod game folder, install mods, configure mods, update mods, remove mods, and then some questions. Now, you can go through this on your own, but I'm going to hit some of the high points. So, again, it kind of explains what it is. But the very first thing that you need to do is call this thing called SMAPI. It stands for Stardew Modding Application Programmers Interface. APIs are things that allow communication to happen. They bring functionality to, in this case, a game, right? So where do you get this? I think it has links in here. Install. I'll show you where I got it, but download the latest version. Okay, there we go. So you can download it through here. You can also, I use Nexus mods as my thing. If we change this to endorsements, there's also a page for it up here. So you can download it through here as well. So the Stardew Modding API. That is the first thing we need. This is kind of think of this as the communication engine between the game and the mods. This allows everything to kind of work. So while it's not kind of a mod itself, it's really about getting this up and running. So we have to install that. Now, at this point, you have to kind of make some decisions on what you want to do. If you want to run modded, you run this instead of the exe. Depending on the platform you're playing on, you might find that you want to do different things. So in my case, I play through Steam on the PC. So all my examples are going to be based off of that. And if you still want to get your Steam achievements, there are some things you have to do. Let's see if it should list it down here. Different mod groups. We'll talk about that in a second. This section right here kind of talks about editing your profiles in Steam. And then let's see. I don't know if it lists it in here. I think it's in here. Yeah. So there's a whole section here on how to make it work with Steam. So what you'll normally do is you'll go and you'll find your exe. You'll click on General. You'll go to Properties. Inside of Properties, you will find this launch option. And if you copy stuff into here, you can make it so that if you click on Play Stardew Valley within Steam, it will launch the modded version. Essentially what it's doing is there's an exe, an executable program for Stardew Valley that sits inside your Steam install folder. And inside of that, you are hijacking and making it so it uses this exe. So the Stardew Modding API.exe, and then that runs instead of the game exe. The problem with this is if you do it this way, if you set this properties, it will always run modded. Now you could take all of your mods out of your mod directory, and we'll talk about that in a second, and it will basically run vanilla, but it will always run in a modded mode. The second thing you can do, which I think it says in here, maybe, I don't know if it lists in here. The second thing you can do is you can add this exe, this Stardew modding exe, as a external game to Steam. To do that, you go into games, and it is add a non-Steam game to my library, and that's within the game or the Steam client itself. So you go to the menu in Steam, you go to games, add a non-Steam game to my library, and then I have a second one called Stardew Valley Mods. So I can run Stardew just vanilla without anything, or I can run the modded version. So that is an option as well. The scope of what I'm going to talk about tonight, that is not something we're going to go all the way into. If it is something you want to see, like I could do a video on just doing this setup. So if you're lost, you know, ping me on social media, hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to help you where I can. So the only thing I have done, like a lot of these things, I don't have this in mind. I don't have any of the launch options. And if you go back to here, where it's talking about what if you want different sets of mods for different playthroughs, which I do have set up, you can actually set up different shortcuts and things like that. I don't have any of that running either, and I'll show you why. I actually use a different program to do that. But all that stuff is there. So this is where I got started. If you go through this step by step, it actually works relatively well. Parker, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so if we go back here, getting started, we have installed this. This is an exe, and it is going to exist. Let me see if I can find it without. So these are all the mods that I'm running in here. If we go to Stardew Valley, right, and we scroll down here, we're going to see that we've got the Stardew Valley exe. That's the original thing that runs in the game. And then we have this Stardew modding API exe. And if you launch this one, it launches the modded version. And then inside of there, we've got a mods directory, which we'll talk about here in a second when we get to the installing mods part. I'm actually going to install one live, and we'll check it out tonight. It was one that was recommended in my last stream, and I haven't played around with it yet. So, okay. So we've installed the SM API, finding mods. That's our next thing. Now it lists a few different places that you can get mods. I use Nexus Mods. You do have to sign up for Nexus Mods. And that's going to give you something that looks like this. So this is their webpage. Now I've already gone to let me back up a little bit. There we go. So nexusmods.com/Stardew Valley/mods. Oh, you guys can't see that. It's off the screen. But if you just go to Nexus Mods, let's go all the way back. Right, so this is the welcome thing. If you just come up here, turn my camera off again. We search for Stardew Valley. Right, it's going to put us into the Stardew Valley area. So this will give us all kind of the Stardew Valley stuff. The other way, I think, is if you click... Yeah, click in here. Now we've got all games. We'll say Stardew Valley. Oh, I haven't favorited it, I guess. What I did is I just got myself to... Again, let me slide this down a little bit so you guys can see it. There we go. Stardew Valley/mods, and then I just bookmarked this site. So this is where I go back to whenever I want to find mods. Okay, so let's see if we can get there this way as well. All games. Wow. Stardew Valley. And we go to games. There we go. Click on that. And then that'll put you in the Stardew Valley section, right? Where you can get things. New today, new this week, popular, different things like that. So let's go back to the mods directory, which is where I normally spend my time. Okay, so if we're looking at our checklist, install mods or install SMAIP, find mods, find your game folder, right? So in my case, that is inside my Steam. I've got a Stardew Valley directory, which is where we're at there. Let's just slide this over. Install mods. So let's talk about that. So a mod that somebody recommended to me is, hold on, let me get the full name of it. I was on their page today, so. Do we do it? Informant mod. All right, so we're going to search for the informant mod. So we'll come in here. Oops, sorry. Go in here. And since I'm already in the Stardew Valley section, it'll only show me Stardew Valley mods. So you'll see this little thing pops up here, which is kind of nice. I'm going to type in informant, and I get 3 options. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter just to get out of that search and bring it up to a full page here. So something you'll run into in mods is you have to pay attention to how recent is the mod. What version of the game is it designed for? It doesn't mean it still might not work, but it might cause issues. You'll also run into a situation that we have here, which is a mod that has existed and then been updated. So we've got 3 things here. I'm going to open all 3 of them. We've got the Informant Crop Tooltips and Machine Labels. I noticed it was uploaded in 2022 and last updated in 2022. We've got Informant Stardew Aquarium Add-on, uploaded in 2023 and last updated in 2023. And then we've got Informant the Tooltip Labels, March 2024 and December of 2024. So I'm seeing that this one is the most recently updated. I'm also seeing that there's a different author or uploader for these, and that's something to pay attention to as well. You will find, let's jump back here a little bit. Yeah, we can back out of that for real quick. If we go to, let's say, in popular mod, so the CJB cheats menu, right? If we look at the author, we can click on the author's name here, and we can see what mods have they created. Some people will have a lot, some people will have a few. So if you find a mod you like, you might check in. Like I have that mod installed, I have that one, that one, I have that one, I have that one, I have that one, I have that one actually. That's a support mod. We'll talk about that in a second. I've got, nope, I don't. I've thought about that one. So I've got a whole bunch of the ones that he's created. You will find mods sometimes that need another mod to run. There are sometimes mods that don't do anything on their own. They're just supporting for other mods. Okay, let's back up here. We'll go back to our informant page. If I can get back to it, maybe. I don't think I can. Okay. Let's just search again then. Okay, so I've got some decisions to make here, right? We've got 3 mods. So I've opened them all up in their own directories. Let's go ahead and close that one. So the first one here, Informant, Crop Tooltips, and Machine Labels. I believe in this case, this was the first one. On Nexus, these mods have a page of their own. They have screenshots of what you might see. So you can kind of see that, which is kind of nice. There's usually going to be some kind of a description. What kind of requirements that it has. Almost all of them are going to list the SMAPI as a requirement. Some might have other things listed there. A description, some authors will put tips, configuration stuff in here. But if I look here at versions, you know, it stopped updating at some point. Would this still work? Probably. It's one of those that you could install it and find out. Other things you might find here, sometimes you'll find like a description. So here you go. Somebody posted, if you're looking for a new version of this, here is the new version of it. And so it's a little bit of a wild, wild west thing going on here when you start to dig into this kind of thing. Okay, so I probably wouldn't pull that one. Then I'll look at the next one. This appears to be an add-on. If we look at the requirements, you have to have the original mod installed. So this doesn't work on its own. It wants this original. And you also have to have something called Stardew Aquarium installed, which is going to be yet another mod. And so you can find yourself in this situation where this one needs all of this stuff installed, right? And so you might find yourself in a situation where you're chasing down all of these things to do something. So keep that in mind. Then we'll go to the third version of it. This one appears to be the latest and the newest. If we look at the requirements for this one, it's got the generic mod configuration menu. This is optional. It's when I pull up the interface in game to configure mods, a lot of them use this particular thing. So not a lot of things needed for that. So I'm going to grab this one. I think this one is the one that has been updated recently. You know, it was updated in December of 2024. So it's well after the 1.6 update. So I'm going to scroll back up here. Now, they have their own little mod utility. I like to keep things pseudo manual here. So I'm going to click on manual. It's going to tell me that I need these things. So make sure I have them. I have both those installed, so we're good there. I'm going to click on download. I am not a paying member of Nexus, so I'm going to get the slow download with download speeds of 3 megabytes a second. Now, this has never been a problem for me. If you notice the size of this file, it's 96 kilobytes. That is less than a tenth of a megabyte. So 3 megabytes is going to be plenty. If you are a member, you get the fast downloads, but we're going to click on slow download. We're going to get, obviously, these little timers. Usually this is just so the advertisements can load and stuff like that. We saw the little thing happen and it's done. The thing's already downloaded, right? So it's not like when it says slow download, don't panic. The biggest mods I've downloaded, the big content mods I've downloaded have taken less than a minute. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so we now have this downloaded. What's going to happen is that's going to go to wherever your default download directory is. Yeah, I think you're probably the one that recommended it, so we're gonna check it out tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this. I'm gonna close this aquarium. I'm gonna close this. Just kind of clean up after myself here a little bit. Close that. We'll keep this one open. Okay, so if we go back to our list here, it says find mods. We did that. Find your game folder. We did that. Install mods. So install mods is relatively straightforward. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to open up this folder. This is where all my mods sit. So it's inside my Steam apps directory where my Steam games are installed. And all my mods are in here. I'm going to, in a different load here, I'm going to go and find that file. Now that file that downloaded is going to be a compressed file. It's a .zip file. If I just grab that file and pull it and drop it into here, this will not work. The game doesn't know how to go inside of this compressed folder, right? So, but this is the file that I directly downloaded. So I'm going to pull it back out of there because we don't want to do that. I'm going to open that file up and I am going to grab, right click and copy or bring over the directory that is inside of that. So in here, this is the mod, right? This is all the mod information. And so now it is a new directory inside of here. If I want to update a mod, I can just delete that directory, or I can copy over top of it. So let's say Informant has a new version, right? I could be like, okay, I'm going to bring the new version over here. I'm going to drop it in. It's going to ask me what I wanted to do. I'll just say replace all the files, and it will update that way. I don't update with that. I actually use a different utility, but we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so we have now, let's go back to our guide here. We have installed our SMAPI, found our mods, found our game folder. We took and installed the mods. Now configuring mods. Configuring can happen a couple different ways. A lot of them do use in-game configurations. If they don't, you might have to go edit what they call a JSON file. Hopefully you don't have to do that, but that is actually possible. So, okay, at this point, then if we go back to the top, configure mods, update mods, we just talked about a little bit. Removing mods, that's as simple as going to this directory. I could say, you know what? I don't want, do I have any that I want to get rid of? I don't think so. We'll keep this Informant working. I don't want this Informant mod. I'm just going to hit the delete key. I delete it, and it is now uninstalled. That's all there is to it. If you're going to access this directory quite often, a couple of things you can do. You can, if you're in Windows, notice it says unpin from start. I have this actually pinned to my start menu, right? So I can just get to it quickly. You could also create a shortcut. You could pin it to your quick access just so you can get back to this directory without having to go and manually find it. It's buried pretty deep in the Steam directory, right? Okay, but we do want that mod. So I'm going to put it back in here. I'm going to say copy here. And boop, it's been reinstalled. So that's the manual bits of configuration that you have to do. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to introduce you to is the mod manager that I use. So, and it also has some functionality to automatically do some things. So we'll talk about that in just a second. I will be right back after a quick break. All right, we are back. Probably missed you, Classy. Have a good night. Get some rest for sure. Okay, if you are live in the chat, as we go through any of this, if you've got any questions, feel free to throw them in there. I'll do my best to go and answer those. So far, we have gone through basically the getting started We've prepared ourselves. We found some mods. We put them in our game folder. We copied them. We downloaded them. We did all of that kind of stuff. At this point, if you run the Stardew Valley modded API, that exe that we created, or we downloaded. So if we run, there we go. If we run this guy right here, it's going to run with all of those mods. It basically goes to the modding directory. It looks and finds these mods, and it says, okay, I'll install all these and run. If you want to manually run with, let's say I didn't want Chests Anywhere, this one, this one, this one, this one. I didn't want those installed. I would have to remove them from this directory and then start the game and then put them back in if I want to run with them or not. The other thing that you can do is you can create multiple mod directories and multiple shortcuts to start the game with those different mod directories so that it loads. Then you have duplicates and stuff like that. I don't like either one of those. So what I have was recommended to me a long time ago in a stream. Let's go back to Nexus Mods. We're going to do a search for a program called Stardew. And it is, there's a lot of stuff with the word Stardew in it, just FYI. But we're looking for this one right here. So this is not technically a mod. It is a mod manager. So this is a separate program that I'm going to run to get the game going. Okay. There's other links to this floating around that you'll find if I go into the actual Stardew program itself. I think it will give me, is it the Stardew repository here? Yeah, this is the GitHub to it. So if you want to download it directly from GitHub, you can do that as well. So this is a program that is actually designed to help you with your mods. And it looks like this. So this is Stardew. You're going to see in here basically the same list of things that we saw in here, right? So all these mods are listed within this program, right? So there they all are. What's interesting about this is it will tell you if a mod is out of date. So it does a check like that. And it has a bunch of functionality that basically automates everything. So there's all of my mods. Now let's say I wanted to play my Joja playthrough. In my Joja playthrough, I only have these mods installed. So these are the ones I want my Joja playthrough to operate on, right? So what this program does is up here in the upper right-hand corner, I can launch Stardew Valley. And if I launch Stardew Valley with this icon, it will basically load up these mods. Now, if you want to know how it does it, what it does is it creates its own folder and it points the Stardew API program to that folder. Inside of that folder, it creates a shortcut to the directories of the different mods. And so every time you run this, it just recreates that folder. It recreates that list. And so it references all of the original mods, but only the ones you want to be running at that time. And so you can set up multiple profiles, right? Like the Extra Life playthrough is here. So you can see the ones. I have one that's called None, which is no mods. I have one that's called All, which is all the mods. Now, we did install a mod that is not showing up on this list. You'll notice that it's not there. If I restarted this program, it would show up, or I can just come in here and say, refresh the mod list. And there's our informant mod. Now notice that it is not checked, right? So I can turn that one on. And then I'm going to just save that. Oops, sorry. Save configs. If I go to my Joja run, you'll notice that Informant's not installed there as well. So this is a nice visual way to keep track of all the mods. Now, if you want to add your one of these, you can, right? I can just come in here and I can just say I want a new profile. We'll call this, I don't know, UI mods. And I click OK. It will eventually put it in alphabetical order once you restart the program. And I can come in here and I can say, okay, that is a UI element I want. I want the UI Suite 2. I want that new Informant mod. I almost always turn on this and this because their support, they help with customization or with the configuration stuff and things like that. Alarms, nah, it's not really UI. Automate, not UI. So you're not turning on the cheats. Content patcher we might need. That one I'm probably going to take out. That's probably all we need. So now I could save this configuration and use this one as well. Another thing that this will do is, I believe if you install a mod that needs another mod, it will give you a warning. It will say you don't have this mod or that mod. So let's test that out. Let's go back into our window here. There we go. So let's go to that aquarium mod that we found. Right, so we've got this Informant Aquarium mod. And we're going to download this one. There we go. That's downloaded. Let's go ahead and go back. So if we recall, this one says it needs this mod to work, right? So I'm going to jump over here. Grab this. We'll open up our directory. We'll copy it in here, just like we did before. Then we'll go back to Stardew. And we will refresh our mod list. And now you'll see that it says additional decorator for Informant mod marks fish that have not yet been donated. I thought that it would show me. Let's turn that on. I thought that it would show me if it was missing. It might be functionality that each individual has to put in. Let's try to run it with that on and see what happens. It might be because I might need to restart Stardew for that to happen. We'll test that here in a second as well. I've seen it pop up before. All right, so this is the SM API. It's doing its work in the background. These mods cannot be added to your game, Stardew Aquarium Informant, because it requires mods that once are installed. So this is realizing that it's not there, which is fine. So let's move that out of the way. And then I'm just going to exit out of the game. We're going to exit out of Stardew and see if we can force this to happen. But it is something to pay attention to, right? If you get a mod that's not working, it could be because you're missing a mod that's supposed to be installed. There we go. Okay, I got it to break. So let's bring this back over here. So broken compatibility issue, right? So Stardew is realizing this. If I click on this, it is, at least it's bringing me here. I think sometimes it will show you the mod you need to download as well. But it is doing its job. It's telling you this mod needs something else. There's something that you need to address as part of that. So, all right, let me get my windows back. Okay, so this is the mod manager I use. I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been made my life easier. Okay, I'm going to open some stuff back up here because when I was moving stuff around, everything closed on me. And now I can't see things. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, so at this point, we now have a mod manager. We have our mods. Let's take care of this compatibility issue. I don't want to run that mod. So we're going to come in here. We're just going to say, I don't want this one. So I'm going to delete it. And then I'll come in here. I'll refresh my list. Or I could restart the program. Both would work. And now that has gone away. Okay, I lost OBS. Where is OBS? There we go. Let's bring that back up. Hey, glad to have you with us. Sorry, I didn't see your chat because I closed all my windows accidentally. All right, so now we have Stardew installed. We have our mods installed, and we've created ourselves some profiles that we can run. Let's start talking about what mods I use and what they do. So let's start with probably right now my most popular series, my Joja run. So in my Joja run, I have abilities, experience bars, alarms, automatic gates, chests anywhere, generic mod. This is a support mod for that mod, which is a support mod for other mods. Look up anything, NPC map locations, to do, and UI info suite. So we're going to go ahead and select those. I'm going to hit this little button. Switch over to this. The mod manager SMAPI is firing up. It's going through its stuff. I usually pay attention to that, just looking for errors, like we saw a little bit earlier. So it's loading mods. Everything seems to be okay. I don't see any errors popping up. And there comes... I clicked his little face, but... as soon as OBS realizes the game's running here, you guys should see it. Come on, OBS. You can find it. All right, we'll load the science one. All right, come on, OBS. You can do it. All right, let me see what is not happy. All right, let's see. That one's still working. Let's make sure I didn't accidentally turn something on that I wasn't supposed to. All right, well, let's see. It's gotten itself confused. There we go. Not sure. OBS got confused as to... I think I've been opening and closing things so much that it got itself a little bit confused. But okay. So I opened up my Force Science mod. Now notice I'm not running really fast now because I didn't turn on my cheat mods, right? If we come back out here, tractor's still broken because these are my Joja mods. So all that kind of stuff, you know, is not working. So let's go ahead and jump out and we'll load back up our Joja save. So this is our Joja farm. And so if you've been watching me, you should be familiar with this. Everything is working here. We're all good. So let's talk about the mods that we're running on this particular farm. Ability experience bars. This one's one of my favorites. If I hit the X key, over here on the right hand side, you'll see these are available, and they show how much experience I've gained in each of your 5 major skills. We have level 8 fishing, level 9 mining. We've maxed out these 2 things. Now what's interesting with this one is if we come back in here, it has a couple of different things that you can do with it. We're not going to do a full deep dive on this, but we can, you know, give it an interface background if you would prefer that. We can turn on hide at max skill levels. So you'll notice that the 2 that are maxed out have gone away. So a lot of mod developers will give you control. We talked about this a little bit when we were doing the Chests Anywhere mod. You know, it gives you some control as to where things need to be or where they need to go and things like that. I can place it. I can make it different sizes. Like if we look at this, you know, now it's huge and things like that. So we have the ability to update things. It also has functionality that I haven't been using. So let's take a look at that. Just because I want to have... I didn't load up my cheat menus, so it'll be a little harder to do. We can do something here, though. We're going to say show pop-up window. And let's put this duration up to like 5 seconds so that we can see it. Okay. So I'm going to turn my camera off because up here in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see this thing popped up. So let's say you don't want all of this, but you just want to be able to see some things. If I turn off... Which one is it? Test bar. There we go. Okay, so now you'll notice that it went away. So let's walk onto the farm here. Let's see. I need to set my stuff up the same way on multiple playthroughs here. We need our X. Actually, this might not work because we're already maxed out, but we'll see here. Okay, there you go. You can see it popped up here. And so what this does is it just pops up and then it went away. So if you don't want screen clutter, right, but you want to see when you gain an experience, it'll pop it up temporarily, show it for a while, and then it goes away. Me personally, I like having them on all the time. So I turn that off. So now if we go chop a tree, will one of these count? Do we get experience for it? We do not. Go chop another tree here. So now you're going to see nothing pop up in that upper left-hand corner. But I still get my pop-ups here. So I like this version of it. But that's just my choice. Something else is a lot of times when you make these changes, it actually changes globally. So if we exit this game, and let's load for science back up here. I've got different interface sizes on these two. Okay, it actually figured it out and put it in a good spot. So this one is pretty smart. Let's check our configuration. 1575 by 350 is our coordinates. So let's go back out. Actually, we need to load up our... We need to load up this one. This one's got a different scale of interface. Okay, yeah. So notice that this is not in the right place now. So this is something... Like if I ran my interfaces at the same size, and I might update this, but let's put our interface back up to... All right, and now 1575 by 350. I think that's what I'm running on my other ones. We'll bring the Joja back in here. All right, so what interface scale are we running? I thought it was all default, but yeah, 100%. So you might have some configuration stuff like that you have to kind of check on and things like that. Okay, so that's abilities, experience bars. It basically is the same thing that's happening here, just with more detail, right? Like this just fills the gem when you fill it up. This shows you how close you are to filling up your little box. So I like that one. All right, mod number 2 on the Joja run is called Alarms. Not a whole lot going on with this one. You can turn it on and off, and you can open up the menu. So if we open up the menu, we get this. We can just basically say, give me an alarm. I can say every day, or I can say individual days of the week or individual days of the month. I can turn seasons on and off, and then it's going to play a sound. Now, to get to those sounds, there is a modding resource. Let me grab it here. Games, Stardew Valley modding. Where did I stick it? Modding audio. There we go. Okay, so this is on the Stardew Valley wiki. Let me turn that on. This is just resources that you can get. So here is a list of the sounds in the game, right? And so, you know, there's the rooster, which is the default right there. So if you just find one that you like, a sound that you like, you can grab that, you put that in here, and it will play that sound as the alarm. So that's how you get to, you know, to the sounds that are taking place there. So if that's something you're interested in, again, this will repeat depending on how you set things up. So if I set this alarm up to be like this, it would play this alarm at 6 o'clock a.m. on the first day of every month. Or if I did it like this, it would be every Wednesday. You got to be creative, because if you wanted something to play at night before you go to bed, you'd have to set this to like 1 o'clock in the morning. But I don't know the day. It's going to be a little bit weird. Also, you'll notice it uses 24-hour clock. There's no AM or PM. So 2200 is 10 o'clock. So kind of keep that in mind as well. I don't use this as much as I think I probably should, but it's a good mod. Automate. I did an entire series on Automate, so we're not going to spend a ton of time on this one. So if you go back to my VODs, I did a whole stream on the Automate mod a couple weeks ago. So you can check that one out. In essence, so what this mod does is it creates a situation, what we have set up over here, where you can create these systems that will automatically move stuff around for you. So if we come in here, we go into our production stuff, and I go, nope, I don't have auto grabbers yet. I need to come down here. We need to get ourselves an egg. So we'll just go in here, grab an egg. Looks like I have to feed my chickens as well. Okay, so we grab some eggs. We come back in here. So you can see I've got my mayonnaise machine set up here. The old way of doing this is I would just grab an egg, I would drag it and drop it onto the mayonnaise machine, and now I'm making mayonnaise, right? But with Automate, I've got this set up, so if I throw them in this chest, boink, 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 it just auto-fills, and then when it gets done making mayonnaise, it puts the mayonnaise in here and grabs more eggs. So this is just a system that's up and running. So again, if you want to see more on the Automate mod, I did a whole like 3 or 4 hour stream on just the Automate mod. Definitely makes your life easier. Chests Anywhere. I just did one of these last week, I think. This one has a lot of options in it. But it allows you to remotely access your chests. Automate, if you want to see one with tons and tons of options, this has options for every single machine and stuff in the game there. This one has different scopes and things you can do. Again, we went through that in the last one, but essentially what this is if you look up here, I've got all these different chests, right? So we've got one called materials. In the classic Stardew, you would come up here, you would open that chest, you would access your materials, you get your gold bars out, do whatever you want to do and such, and go about your business. If I want to access that chest, I go to there. If I want to come out here and access this chest, I walk up to it and I put my gold bars in there, right? With the chest anywhere, I can hit a key, and I can say, okay, I want to find that bait chest that I just was in. I can pull my gold bars back out of there. I'm going to go to my resources chest. There's my materials chest that was inside the house, and I can put that back in there. And so I can do this from anywhere in the game. If you want to configure it different ways, again, I did a whole stream on this. You can find that in my VODs as well. So this one's one of those borderlines. It drastically changes the way you play the game. This one is a relatively big change, to the game itself. All right. Generic mod config menu. That's this menu that I'm using right now. That's all it does. It is just a menu system that other mods use as their configuration. So you have to install this mod in order for this to work. But that's really all it is. Look up anything. Look up anything is kind of similar to the wiki, in that you can look up things right within the game itself. This one's interesting in that if you hold your cursor over something and press the F1 key, it'll bring up its little section on that particular piece. Or if you hit Shift and F1 by default, and I just want to look up something in the game, there's Sam's portrait, there's Sam the villager, it gives me his schedule, all that kind of stuff, where I'm at on hearts. Let's grab, how about Willie? Everybody loves Willie. So we don't have a lot of hearts. It does give you extra information, like we are 2 and a little bit, because it's 250 points for each heart. So we know that we've got a little bit into heart 3. This can be good to plan things if you're trying to do that. I usually look up anything, I'm going to say like 70-30, 75-25. There are some things that I still go to the wiki for. But this one is a nice thing to do just inside the game, right? If you want to find anything, you run across something, but even like a sprinkler, right? I can put my cursor over the sprinkler, hit the F1 key, and it will show me information about it. Will it do the greenhouse? It will. Will it do a chicken coop? It does. Your house, farmhouse, horse, stable. There's our horse named Fine Print. There's our cat, Thrive. A scarecrow, all this kind of stuff. Let's see if he'll do the tapper. There's the tapper and then the tree. So if you're looking for information, there's the pine tree, the tapper. I think that is a green rain tree, mossy tree. So to give you just tons and tons of information about the game. Which is kind of nice. So that's look up anything. Again, we're not going to do a deep dive, but some configuration so you can customize what you want it to look like. All right, NPC map locations. This has 2 things that it can do. The first is it will install a little mini map if you want to run that. So that's down there in the lower right-hand corner. You can just grab it and move it around, I think. There we go. And then in here, actually, no, in here, there we go. You can change its size. You can lock it. You got always show villagers. So show villagers that you've talked to. Show villagers that village players has talked to. Hide villagers they've talked to. So just ways. So if you were really like, I just want to pay attention to the people that I haven't talked to, right? So you could turn on this and say, okay, if I've talked to that person today, hide them. And that way you can always see the ones that you still need. Again, configurable if you want to make it so that you can't see everybody on the entire map. Right here you can see that I can see the dwarf, I can see Willie down here. If we come in here and we say only show player or villagers and players location, right? So now you notice they're all gone because none of them are on our farm. But theoretically, let's move this back down. If we jump on fine print here, so now we can see on the map, we can see Leah, we can see the wizard, we can see Jess, because they're in the zone that I'm in. But you notice, I guess they're kind of still there. That's interesting. It's made them dark, so... let's see. Always show villagers. Only show villagers in player's location. Only show villagers within a heart level. That's kind of cool. Show quests, birthdays. Exclude villagers if you want. I'm curious. Let's do a little test here. I've never dug this deep into this one. Like right now it is showing... This might be the last known location. Okay, yeah, this will be a good test. So notice that... We've got Pam here on her way to the bus stop, right? So it's showing us her last known position when I turned on only show villagers in that location. So if we run up here, I'm going to guess. Oh. It showed her move on the mini-map, which is kind of funny. So we got close enough that it triggered her movement. So as we go into town here... Oh, yeah, sorry. We're at this stage of the playthrough. I forgot about that, but... Okay, so if we look at our mini-map... Yeah, I can see it. If you look at the villager's face right inside of... It looks like there's like a range sliding across there. So anyway, now that's not one that I normally keep on, but again, if you want to configure it, you can. All right. So that's NPC map locations. To-do list. To-do list has some decent customization. You can change its colors and backgrounds and sizes and things like that. You can turn it on and off. So I might have to change the color. This one's a little rough to see in the winter time. It's been fine up until winter. But you'll notice that it is actually pretty white. If you hit the L key, test mods, there we go. You can add things, you can create, make them headers, make them repeatable, make them repeat on certain days, certain seasons, whether it's raining or not raining. There's all kinds of little configurations. If we turn the repeat off, we can come over here, we can click done, it removes it from our list. Or if you come in here, you can permanently delete it. Now, if it's non-repeatable and you click done, it'll delete it the next day. So it'll go away at the end of the day. This one's nice. I use this one actually quite a bit just to give myself a checklist so I don't forget to do things. Like this one here, if we click done, because it's set to repeat every day, it'll just come back on the next day. So a lot of these I run just to give myself a checklist of things to do every day. Check in on the chickens, check the greenhouse, check the bat cave. We do that all the time. So that one is a great little mod for that. And then UI Info Suite is one that's been used quite a bit. It's an interesting one. While it does have a little bit of configuration here, so I can open up this board and we can open up the calendar from in here. It also does updates to here. You can get to stuff. It actually creates its own option in this menu, right? So most of its configuration is actually in here. So if you want to get in and customize some of this, that's definitely, not quite fitting on the thing. But most of its customization is done in here. So I've got pretty much the default stuff on. I think you have to add that if you want it on. Other than that, it's pretty much normal stuff. So that's the icons that are popping up here. It's going to snow tomorrow. Luck will be on your side. Let's talk about the luck one. If you really want to know the details on luck, it'll tell you your actual daily luck value there. Or it will just give you a message. So it's kind of up to you on that one. And that's it. That's the mods that I run on my Joja playthrough. I gave myself a backstory, and my backstory was these were gifts for being part of the Joja Partner Program. So I gave myself a reason why I have access to these tools beyond the game. You don't necessarily have to do that, but that's what I did. So that is our Joja build out for mods. So next up will be the extra live stream that we just started on this Saturday, which has a similar but a couple of different ones. So we'll take a quick break and we'll take a look at that one when we get back. All right, we're back. Okay, Stardew loaded that time. So this one is actually relatively similar to what we just saw. So let's go ahead and load up our extra life game. So while we were on break, I closed the game down. I went over to Stardrop. I reconfigured to my extra life, and then I restarted the game with that. So that's this playthrough here. All right, so we are only in week 2. Now notice that my map that I was playing around with in the last one is still moved. So again, sometimes these actually do have configurations that are global. to the whole game system, right? All right, we'll pull up the same thing here. You're going to see a lot of the same mods: abilities, experience bars, alarms, automate, chests anywhere, generic, look up anything, NPC map locations, to do, and UI info suite. Those are all ones that we've already covered in the Joja. But you'll see here, bigger backpack. That is a new one. So we need to run into town to check this one out. And we're just going to turn that off, so I'll figure that out later. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this, so we might have to turn a cheater version on to get to it. But the two mods we want to get to are inside of Pierre's here, so we have to wait for him to open up. So let's talk about what Bigger Backpack is. Bigger Backpack is just a way, if I open up my inventory here, you're going to see that I have my standard backpack, and then instead of 2 blocked out areas, I've got 3, right? So all it does is add a 4th line that you have to purchase in order to access. So it is a mod that's all it does. That's its entire thing. So again, you saw in the configuration menu that I can set the price to what that's going to be. So the default is 50,000. So it lets you do that. So if you wanted to make it free, you could, I guess, as a reward for being a client of Pierre's. You know, you buy 2 get 1 free in your backpack updates. You know, whatever story you want to tell yourself is fine. This is where, when I do mod testing, it's why I run with all the cheat menus on. Is because waiting for things to happen like this gets a little frustrating. But all right, while this is going, let's see if we can fix. Now, I don't want to open up the menus because that time won't keep running. I was going to try to fix this little bar here, but it's okay. Hey, people are moving. They're out and about in town. Should be 9 o'clock, right? We'll just run in circles like this. Oh, somebody's out. Gus. Shane's on his way to work. Alex is out. That should be Penny, right? Yep. All right, Pierre is open. So this mod, you just come up here. And I'll load up my cheat save. But after you purchase this one and you purchase the next one, it just adds a 3rd purchase to that. The other mod that I have on my list that doesn't show up here, but it is on my list here, is called Charity Donation Stand Edition. So that is a mod that adds a new interface in here. And what it allows you to do is, for 1,000 gold, I can make a donation to the Feeding Ferngill Charity Fund. And let me look up the info on this one. That will give me 5 friendship points to every unlocked villager in the game. This one will give me 20. This one will give me 50. This one will give me 100. This one will give you 150. This will give you 200. And this will give you 250 friendships for every one of them. So if you drop 1,000,000 gold, you can gain 1 heart level to everybody in town. Now, I would guess that if you have 1,000,000 gold, you've probably been playing long enough that that's probably not needed. But it is that thing. The other thing that you can do is these become loved gifts for everybody. So if you do this, you get the certificate. I have 1,000 gold. So if we grab this, we now have that certificate. I don't know that we were low on friendship with anybody. Who's our lowest friendship? would have been the wizard. So we gained, you know, friendship with everybody. I would say we already had some, so we should have looked ahead of time, but is he not listed as the wizard in here? All right, is he listed as whatever his name is? Huh, weird. But what's interesting about this is, let's say we go to, I just saw Abigail walk by. Notice that these certificates, Green Cross certificates with Farmers Without Borders, they're listed as loved gifts as well. So really, this could also turn into for 1,000 gold, you can essentially purchase loved gifts for birthday presents. And the way the mod explains that is that's like you did the donation in their honor, right? So you can get basically a bunch of loved gifts, much like if you were just harvesting like rabbit's feet, things like that. I think they're all the same though, you know, so really your most efficient way would be to buy these and then give these out, the feeding ferngill things there. And I think that's it. That's the only difference I have on this one compared to my other stuff, or my Joja run. So I kept them relatively the same. Not a lot of difference. So the bigger backpack and the charity. And I thought the charity one was good because this will be a stream that we do charity on. So that is that one. So let's go ahead. We're going to exit all the way out here. And let's go ahead and crank everything up here. So I just went to Stardrop, turned everything to on, or my on profile, my all profile. Now this one's going to take a second because it has to do more configuration to get all the mods up and running. And then we'll start playing around and answering any questions on any particular mod that anybody has. Feel free to throw those into the chat. Onk. Alright, so for this one we're going to load up our Dr. Science playthrough here. So the first thing you're going to see is now that everything's fired back up, my cheat mods are installed. So we'll talk about those. Alright, so the first thing is I'm moving all over the place. We're running fast, our tractor's back, our automate's working. You know, all this stuff is up and running. Right? Okay, so this list is definitely longer. You're going to see there's more stuff on it. There's some in here I've never played with. There's our informant mod. So we'll play around with that as well. Alright, so let's... it's completely new to me, so... tooltip button, mouse right. Okay, let's try that out. I think we have a couple fighting each other here. So let's do this. Don't know if I can disable. That is something that will happen to you on occasion. You'll get some mods that... I don't see a way to shut that off, so we'll play with that in a little bit then. Okay, so again, we've seen it. Let's talk about this one, the cheats menu. This is one that I use quite a bit when I'm trying to figure something out in the game. It gives us functionality to do things above and beyond normal gameplay. I've been there, Blue Rose. So yeah, it's one of those, yeah, when you're that close, you're just like, oh, I can just get this done. I feel for you there, so. Okay, so this one is huge. This definitely falls into the game-breaking thing. So the first thing you're gonna see, infinite health, infinite stamina, instant weapon cooldowns, one-hit kills, max your daily luck, right? So if we look at our daily luck thing here, and we make a change to that, where we turn on the exact value, which is set to 0.002, and then we turn this on. Now it's set to 0.115, right? My movement speed, that's why I'm moving around so fast. I've got this cranked up. Inventory size. We've got infinite water can, one-hit breaks, harvest with the scythe. I can add tool enhancements in here. I can just give myself money, casino coins, walnuts, key gems. Like, it is a cheats menu. So keep that in mind. And that's just the first tab. The next tab, auto water crops, durable fences, instant build. That one is if you're going to build a building at Robin's, you don't have to wait the 3 days. Auto feed your animals, auto pet your animals, auto pet your pets, have infinite hay. Fishing, instant catch, instant bite, always throw max distance, always treasures, durable tackles. The fast machine processing. So right now we've got mayonnaise processing here, right? If I don't want to wait for it, we can just come in here, find our mayonnaise machine, turn that one on. Boink, boink, it's done, right? They don't have to wait it out. Now, I don't think I would ever want to play this way, but if I'm trying to build a video or something like that, these are kind of nice. Skills, I can just up my skills in here. I can just give myself professions. That's that one. I can change the weather for tomorrow, but you do have to, I believe, would have to sleep. So you want to make it sunny, rainy, lightning, snowing, green rain. Again, let's say you wanted to test something for green rain, you know, as a content creator, I can just run green rain over and over and over again to figure something out, right? I can give gifts, no friendship decay. We can just instantly give ourselves 10 hearts with a person. Now this is keeping track of who we've actually met, which is kind of funny. This one I use quite a bit. Warp to locations, right? If we just want to go to Robin's, we can go. If we want to go, like on this save, we're in day 2. If we want to go to the island farm, we can. Now what's interesting, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm stuck behind because I haven't accessed it, right? So we can't get through, so we're stuck behind the little turtle there because we're not supposed to be here. So again, we can warp to all the different locations. I've never tried this one. There we go. Instantly to floor 10. I guess the cheats menu has given me access to all of the locations because I have not gone all the way to the bottom. All right, so again, we can warp anywhere we want to go. Right now, time is running. We can freeze time inside. We can freeze it in caves. We can freeze it anywhere. Hide time frozen after a few seconds. We can set the time to whatever time we want it to be. So we can set the date. We can make it yesterday. We can change the season. We can change the year. We can just finish quests. We can give ourselves items. Like, it is literally, you know, a cheat menu. It's a cheat to anything you would want to do. And then this is some of the hotkeys and stuff that you can throw in there. Reset. Cool, let's see what that does. Not sure what that did. Does it give a tooltip? It does not. Huh. I was seeing if I triggered any cutscenes or anything like that. Okay, so that's the cheats menu. Again, I wouldn't recommend playing with this on. I think it takes pretty much any of the fun out of the game. But for instance, if I'm building this automation system to test to see how it works for a video, I don't want to have to play for 100 hours to get the resources to do this. Which brings us to the second super cheaty one. We've got the cheats menu. We've also got the item spawner. So this one basically opens up any item in the game that you would want, right? Do you want the fish? Do you want seeds? Crops? Doesn't matter. Pick it, it's in there. Oh, we are getting close to chicken raving, aren't we? Yeah, we're at 8. So it also has a search functionality, right? So if we want to give ourselves an auto petter, I can look it up. There it is. I can right click to get 1. I can left click to get 999. So basically, anything that you would want to do in the game with this item spawner, if it exists in the game, you can get to it. You even get sometimes things that I'm not sure naturally exist in the game. Trying to think of an example. I think all that exists. Alright, let's play with this. So if you take the iridium pan and put it on your head, it turns into a hat. What about this one? Okay, so that's interesting. Let's play around with this a little bit. Because it is an item in the game. Alright, let's grab both of these again. The iridium pan you can do your panning with. And they're both called iridium pan, they just have a different graphic. Let's go see if we can find a panning spot. Oh, really? What's it called in the game? There they are. How'd you get this in your inventory? That's pretty good. Okay, let's see if we can get lucky and find a panning spot. I'm just curious if this version will work as a pan. Bubbles. Let's turn that off. I think panning spots need to pop up more often, in my humble opinion. I'm sure if someone sees one, they'll yell at me. You missed it. Oh, you know what? They might not be showing up because on this save, I don't have it unlocked. So let's check. Skills. We need glittering boulder removed. That's the panning one, right? I think it is. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and sometimes to get this stuff to work, you have to sleep. So we'll sleep. We'll get the cutscene. We'll skip the cutscene. Alright, now we'll see if we find ourselves a panning spot. That guy's still doing his work. What is the dwarf scroll one? Okay, so the dwarf scrolls, let's see, on this save. Hold on, let me get to it. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna load a different save. We'll go all the way back to our perfection farm. Okay, so if I'm understanding the question right, we need to go to the museum. You're talking about these dwarf scrolls, I'm guessing, right? So you get dwarf scroll 1, 2, 3, and 4. What those do is, once you get all 4 of those, you get yourself an item called... There it is. No, it's not that one. There it is. You get this thing called the Dwarvish Translation Guide. So that's the reward for collecting all 4 of these scrolls. So you have to get all 4 scrolls, bring them to the museum here, donate them, and then you'll get access to this special power called the Dwarvish Translation Guide. That does a couple of things for you. Makes it so you can read one of these, I think. Yep, so this is in Dwarvish, so you can read that there. And then the other thing it does is once you knock this rock down, it lets you access this dwarf vendor. Until you get the translation guide, you can't understand what he talks. So that's what the dwarf scrolls do for you. You need to collect all 4 in order for that to happen. So actually, you know what? I've got the panning on this guy. Let's play around with this panning thing again. Okay, because these are both things that exist in the game, they're both listed. Let's see. Oh yeah, artifact spots. And yeah, killing stuff, fighting stuff in the mines. Good add in there. I can understand why these panning spots are rare. I mean, they give you ore and stuff. It just feels like they're very fleeting and hard to find. I heard something, but... There's one. Alright, let's see if this item works. Yeah, it does not. This one should. Nope. Yep. So it doesn't work as a panning item. And what's interesting, again, it's the graphic used for when the pan becomes a hat. Right? That's what it's for. And then when it comes back off, so if we put this on our head, when it comes back off, it automatically changes it to the right graphics. So. Okay, anyway, let's finish exploring this. So, if there is an item in the game, it exists. You know, it's in this list. Even things that you're probably never meant to have in your inventory, like these artifact spots. There we go. But it's a good way to kind of test things out. And again, that's what I use these 2 mods for. Both the cheats menu and the item spawner. I'll often use them when I'm trying to test something out. That's kind of their job. All right, let's go ahead here. Let's see. Anything else on the item spawner? Oh, this is one. If you want to get a certain, let's go to, how about a catfish? Right, let's say we want catfish. There's smoked catfish, normal catfish, and things like that. If I click this little button here, I can get the silver quality, I can get the gold quality, I can get the iridium quality, or back to no quality. So again, if you're testing things, you know, we can see the difference between 250, 312, 375, and 500 versus the 700. You know, now I don't know. Can you get iridium quality smoked catfish? They sell for 1,400 if you can. So again, it's a way to just kind of test things out. Well, let's actually use our scepter. Whoosh. It's fun to visit this farm again. I haven't been on this farm in a while. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like the crop animation. We can almost catch our own tail here. Wee-hee! All right. Okay, so item spawner, cheats menu. Two staples in... if you're just trying and testing and you don't want to wait. Like, you know, again, if you were trying to figure out the difference between two different things and you didn't want to play for 50 hours to get those things, those are kind of fun mods to mess around with. Okay, let's take a quick break and then we'll start hitting a couple of other ones in here. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's get our Dr. Science one going again, because I used this next mod to get him set up. So if we look here, we're going to see a whole bunch of clothing. Right, I was playing around with clothing to get his little nerdy, geeky look going here. Little bow tie, white pants, red shoes, red bow tie. But as I was playing with things, sometimes you want to check out the clothing and then maybe you're like, you know what? I want to try that with a different hairstyle. You could go back out, recreate a new character and things like that. But this mod, called Customize Anywhere, gives you access to 4 different things in customization. The first one is essentially something very similar to your character creation screen. Now, I do believe this also exists in the wizard's basement for money. So it is functionality that you can eventually get in the game. But if you want to mess around and, you know, change your character here, rename your character, you can do all of that kind of stuff within this menu. Evidently girls are shorter than guys. I was not aware. So if you want to play around with that, that's what this section of this mod does. The one I use the most is this one. Basically, this gives you access to all of the clothing in the game, right? So there's all the hats, there's all the shirts. There we go. And there are lots, not near as many pants. Gotta admit, that's it. That's the extent of the pants in the game. But what's cool, again, if you just want to play around here, let's get the farmer pants. We will get the genie pants, the tight fit, the baggy pants, relaxed fit. All right, so that's all the pants in the game. Dinos and mummies. That Simon Says game can be rough. It took me a few tries to get by that one. Did you solve your bird gem issue? To go to movie and forge the ultimate. Oh, very cool. Okay, so we've got these different pants, and let's say we wanted to see what our character would look like with red pants, right? So we're going to go ahead and go into our spawner, and we'll grab ourselves a stack of prismatic shards, and then we will pull up our sewing machine. So that's the 3rd item, and then the 4th one is the dye thing as well. But my sewing machine, I can just throw this in here. I can throw in my farmer pants. And we can say, what would my character look like with red pants? So a couple of things happen there. Let's go ahead and open that back up. We'll do the genie pants. And we'll make these green. Now notice it shows you what they look like on your character as well, so you can adjust that, and then it puts it in our inventory, and so now if we wanted to use these, we could. Now again, this is functionality that exists in the game. You know, you can place a sewing machine. Like if I wanted to, I could just come in here, spawn myself a sewing machine, place it down, and do the exact same thing, right? It's just now it's in a menu early on. Same thing with this. I believe you can access these in, is it in Emily's house? I think, to dye your clothes as well. Place an item of each color into the dye pots in order to dye any dyeable clothing you're wearing. So another way to get to that. So that's this mod. Again, it's called Customize Anywhere. It was nice when I was setting up this character, right? Like if I wanted to change his hair color now, you know, let's say the brown just isn't quite doing it for me. You know, I could make tweaks on that as well. Wow, we got chickens everywhere. All right, next on our list, generic mod configuration. We'll come back to informant. Look up anything we've already done. NPC map locations we've already done. Skull Cavern elevator. Oh, okay. I don't run the perfection tracker mod. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, that Simon Says game is rough, for sure. Okay, so this is a mod that adds an elevator to the Skull Cavern. So let's go see. Okay, there we go. So it looks like we have 25 levels. So what if we go to level 25 here? Let's go ahead and get ourselves some staircases. So this should theoretically... There we go. So it added a 30 for us, I think. Let's see if we can get to 35. So there's 35. All right, let's go ahead and warp out of here. We'll sleep for the night. Oh, wait, everything's reset, hopefully. We warp back. Okay, so there we go. So this mod allows you to treat Skull Cavern like the normal mine. Now, what's interesting here is it does have some settings. This value determines how often elevators appear. So 5 is the default, to the same as the mines. But if you wanted to make this so that you had to get to level 100, you'd only get an elevator every 100 levels, right? You know, you could really crank up the difficulty on this. This is also affects how often elevators appear. A higher value in difficulty means that less elevators appear and you need to get further down to unlock new elevators. I can't say I 100% know how that works. So that would be one where I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to go to the Nexus mod page. Let's jump over there real quick. And we're going to say... Skull Cavern elevator. Okay, I didn't find it under that name, so let's space this out. There it is. And now we'll see what the author has to say about it, right? So in here, difficulty and elevator setting. So in all examples, assume the lowest mine level reached is 40. First elevator step. This changes step width between elevators appearing. Okay, so that's on. Elevator step 5 and difficulty of 1 means that when you reach level 40 of the Skull Cavern, you will see elevators 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. Elevator step 10 and difficulty of 1 means you will reach level 40. You will see elevators 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so let me... Okay. Difficulty say changes how difficult it is to travel further down the elevator. Difficulty 2 and default elevator step 5 means when you reach level 40 of Skull Cavern, you only see elevators up to level 20. My lowest level 40 difficulty divided by 2. Okay, so difficulty 4. So basically the deeper you get, so you could really customize this one if you wanted to. Okay, hold on, Dredd. I'll take a look here. As you see, a higher value difficulty means that less elevators appear. A combination of elevator step and difficulty can look like this. Difficulty 1.5 and elevator step 10 means when you reach level 40 of Skull Cavern, you'd only see elevators up to the lowest level. 40 difficulty 1.5 means elevators 10 and 20 due to the elevator step of 10. So, you know, in doing these kind of things, elevator cost, set this to the higher number than 0 to enable payment for each level traveled using elevator. So if you wanted to say, okay, you can go down, but you have to pay for it. So again, they've given you the ability to customize it the way you think you want to use it. Let's see, let's get to the chat here. My question, make it make sense. At Robin's, there's a paintbrush option that I believe can change the look of things. Have you messed with it? I don't think it comes with the mod. Because you have to alt look mod installed. Well, I believe. Hold on. If what you're talking about is what I'm thinking about. Do we have? Is this a deluxe coupe? Yeah, that's a deluxe coupe. Okay. Let's go ahead and change our time. Wake Robin up. Get her to work. There we go. Hold on. I'm going to turn that off. Just so I don't keep triggering it. There we go. Not the paint. In the shop. Yeah, the one I was thinking was the paint. Have a great night, Victor. It's always good to see you. Okay, hold on. I'll get to alarm in a second. Let's see. Robin's, there's a paintbrush option that I believe can change the look of things. Oh, the only other thing I can think of that's like that is like the pet houses have that. But that's not a paintbrush. There's the paint buildings. Okay, yeah, let me know and I'll see if I can dig for it. Tiffany, what's the alarm? So alarm is called alarms. And what it allows me to do, let's set one up here. I'm going to open up the alarm interface. I am going to start an alarm. So it is 10 o'clock right now and time is not pause. It's pause time. There we go. Okay. So I can create an alarm. Let's set this for 10:10. I can set, like, I can turn off seasons or turn on seasons. If I leave these all white, it will run every day. But if I wanted to only run it on like Tuesday and Thursday, I could highlight those. Or if I only wanted to run it on specific days, I could highlight those. I can give it a name. We'll call this the Tiffany alarm. And then I can play a sound. Now that sound, let me see if I still have it opened up here. Here we go. On the wiki, there is a whole set of game sounds in here. Let's just try achievement. Let's see what that does. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to bring that over here. We'll paste that in there. We'll enable this alarm. And then we'll close the interface here. So at 10:10, we turn time back on here. We should get an alarm. I did turn time back on. There it is. So the Tiffany alarm came on and you heard the sound play, right? So if we... What's another... Oh, let's do this one. Set this to 10:20. Bat screech. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I've set alarms for like every night. I have an alarm to, there's the bat screech, to tell me to sell my mayo. I will sometimes set alarms to remind myself to go to an event. You know, like, let's say the Stardew Valley Fair is closing at 3 o'clock, right? So I'll set this for 2 o'clock, which would be 1400 hours. And I would be like, go to fair. And then, you know, again, you can use, let's do a test here. But you can use any of these, but I don't know if you can use the long ones. So let's find a really long one. There we go. That one's pretty long. Magma Sprite Spot. I don't know what sound that is, but this box, yeah, so it can't hold the whole thing. All right, so let's do 1030 and see if it even plays. Because I hadn't tested this yet. Yeah, okay, so the alarm popped up, but nothing played because I think it couldn't find it. So you have to find one that falls within the size of the alarm box here, because it doesn't have enough characters to do that one. But that was a fun one. I actually like that one. Paintbrush, paint bucket, spray can, scissors. And it looks like it's for all. Where are you seeing this? Do I not have that? Maybe it's a mod you have I don't have? Is it on this interface? No. Yeah, it must be a mod because I don't see. In the shop at Robbins, there's a paintbrush, paint bucket, spray can, and scissors. In the shop? Yeah, you must have something installed I don't have. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. I can do some digging for it, but you have to look at your mod list and try to figure out what it is. Let's see what just comes up in. Let's see. Robin, or carpenter shop. Craftable carpenter shop, construction shop. More furniture, Robin's increased random daily stock. Players can craft a carpenter construction shop. What is that? This one is like a little what you call it, like, yeah, a little add-on. I don't think that's what you're talking about. Oh, you can build this, I think, and maybe put it on your house, on your farm, so you can get to this menu. I would guess is what that one is. Yeah, it might be some kind of, and that's another thing. Like all the mods we're going over tonight, none of them are really huge on content changing. There's a lot of alternate texture mods and things like that. Like I was looking at considering doing the medieval one. Changes all the buildings to medieval style buildings and stuff like that. Yeah, I haven't played a lot with those kind of mods. All right, let's see. What's next on our list? Look up anything we've already seen. Okay, yeah. Time speed. This is one that I put on and I have not done anything with it. It looks like you can configure the speed of time when you're in different areas. Freeze time at the end of the day so you never pass out, I guess. So because I use the cheat menu, I don't do this, but this could be used to really customize, you know, how time passes, right? Okay, let's see what happens if we set that to 15. So let's turn off this. All right, let's go the other way with it then. I saw this one, installed it, and then never did anything with it. So I never turned it on. All right, the number of seconds per in-game minute while indoors. All right, let's crank it the other way then. Oh yeah, look at the time go. So if you think the core game runs at speeds you don't like, in this one, you could say, you know what? I think when I'm in the house, time should slow down, right? So I could turn this up to, let's say, 2.8, which is double. And now it's going to take twice as long for 10 minutes to go by, as opposed to what it was by default. So that one would be one that you could change the general feel of the game. Show time info on warp. Whether to show a message about the time settings when you enter a location. Okay, let's turn that on. So let's see. 10 minutes feels more like 7 seconds here. And then we come in here. 10 minutes feels more like 14 seconds here. So if we crank this thing into stupid numbers. So 7 seconds, 150 seconds. Okay, so this number looks to just be a multiplier. So 7 seconds is 0.7. 1.4 is 14. So basically almost like you're just adding zeros. So yeah, I don't know. It's okay. I've never used that one, so I might pull it out. To-do list we already talked about. We'll go back to the tractor mod. UI info suite is the one that we've been using to pop a lot of these kind of things up. It has its own configuration menu in here. So level up animations, experience bars, birthday icons, heart fills. This one pops up all kinds of stuff, even when you're just working on the farm. Let's go back here. Like if we come down here and chop down a tree, see that popped up on our head? That's the UI info suite. These pop-up menus that are popping up are part of the UI info suite. So it's just more information. If Robin's building something, if you're upgrading a tool, all that kind of stuff is in there. How do you activate the tractor mod? We can talk about tractor mod next. Okay, so there's a couple of things that you can do with the tractor mod. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to freeze time again. So the first thing we're going to do is reset my tractor. So let's go back here. All right, so we'll just destroy our tractor thing. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the farm. So by default, let's see, tractor mod. There we go. All right, I'm gonna set all this back to default. So this is the default configuration. So right now I don't have access. Well, I didn't save, I don't think. Hold on. That shouldn't have worked. So tractor mod. Oh, I think the game still thinks I have the garage. Let's look. We'll just save the day. Okay, now it doesn't work. Okay, so tractor mod settings. Couple of things. We'll talk about these top things, but what I just changed here is can summon without garage, right? You can turn, if you turn that on, I can use the tractor now without actually having to do the in-game things to use the tractor. But let's go through the way. I'm gonna turn that on as well, because that shows what the tractor is impacting. Okay, so let's see. Tractor mod. A couple of things. We'll go over these settings in a second. Require build materials. Whether you need to provide materials to build the tractor garage in addition to the gold. Can summon without garage. Let's turn that back off. Invincible tractor. Highlight radius. We just turn that on. And then the rest of this stuff I think is just what you want the tractor to do. So let's change time. Actually, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday's not a bad time. Let's get Robin up. All right, let's go see Robin. So its default configuration, what it would expect from you is to treat the tractor like any other building on your farm, right? So we'll wait for Robin to go to work here. And so, with it installed, I can go to construct, and there's my tractor garage. It costs 150,000 gold, 20 iron bars, 5 iridium bars, and 5 battery packs. So if you wanted to treat it like it's a very in-game item, that's what you'd have to do that. Now, if we come in here and we turn this off, so now it's just the gold cost if you want to set that. And if you want to go extreme, then you can set that to whatever you want. Up to 1 million, down to 0. In what, 10,000 increments? 5,000 increments, it looks like. Yeah, 5,000. So now if I want to make it, let's say more of an early game thing, you can buy a tractor early on. You know, it's 5,000 gold to buy the tractor garage. So you can click on build just like any other building, place it in here, and I have instant build on. It would take the 3 days like any other building. Okay, once we have that now, let's go ahead and talk about what it does. So, you know, much like the horse, I can come over here, I click on it, and it operates like the horse as well. And you'll notice that nothing's really happening. So, the way the tractor works is, one, you have to decide what work can it do. So down here, we've got the axe. What kind of things can it do with the axe? Do we want to chop trees that are fully grown? Do we want to chop the saplings, the seeds, the fruit trees? Do we want it to chop bushes, clear dead crops, live crops, things like that? Till dirt, clear weeds, dig artifact spots, clear debris, break flooring, break objects. Like with this on, if I drive up into here with my pickaxe, it'll take stuff out, right? So the default on this is actually relatively safe. if you leave all these things at default. Scythe, harvest crops, things like that. Okay, so let's use it as maybe as intended. So we'll go back to default. So I'm on my tractor. The only thing I'm going to turn back on, just because I think it makes it make more sense, is this highlight. So now we can see the effect range. So if I drive the tractor around with nothing highlighted, nothing's really happening. Right? I'm collecting some stuff I already knocked down, but... Alright, so if I, let's say, equip... This shouldn't do anything. Yeah. If I equip my scythe here. So now as I drive the tractor, in this radius, or this grid, it's going to do anything the scythe would do. Right? So as I drive through my grass here, it's going to clear that out. If I get to a weed, right, it's going to clear the weeds out. But that's it. You know, I can't go past anything else. Now, if I equip my pickaxe, it is now going to do anything the pickaxe could do. So notice now it's taking out rocks, but it's not taking out, you know, the wood. Now, what's interesting here is if we go ahead and grab a lower level pickaxe, so let's just get a copper one here. And we drive over. Now also keep in mind I have other cheats on. Like one hit break here. Let's turn that off. So now if I drive over to one of these big rocks, you'll notice that it can't break that big rock. Right? Because this pickaxe can't break the big rock. So it follows the rules of the tools you have equipped. With my iridium equipped, though, it can. And then again, the next one, my axe, same thing. Now the other perk to this is, notice it's not using any, let's turn these off, but it's not using up my energy. Also notice it's not chopping down trees. So if I wanted that functionality, we'd have to come back in here. Let's turn on trees. So that's generally what it does. Now, if you want to get crazy with this, so let's get crazy. And I've done this on other streams, so we're going to turn this up so we suck everything in. We're going to speed up the tractor, and we're going to crank up its distance. So this is 16 tiles in every direction. So now you're going to see how much farther my influence area is, right? So now if I turn the scythe on, or if I turn my pickaxe on, now notice it left the little trees. So if we want to get completely deforestation here, let's turn on tree saplings and tree seeds. And we'll say goodbye to them. Got an artifact. Now, I wouldn't recommend playing this way, honestly. I don't think this isn't necessarily the way it was designed to be run. There we go. We've clear cut our farm. Now, with this, you do want to be careful, because if we go into... Let's turn on break flooring, break objects. Oh, you can use it to harvest machines as well. I think my inventory's full. And then my full chests are basically acting like you're hitting them with a pickaxe and moving around. Chest rave. We've had one of those before. Hey, we are at 10. Let's go full on rave for this one. So this is weird functionality. Basically, it's just the chests are doing what chests do when you hit them with a pickaxe, and there's items in them, right? They're just moving around. Question is, let's turn this back to at least somewhat reasonable here. Let's also slow it down a little bit. It's crazy fast. There we go. I can push chests around as well. Thanks for the question, Tiffany, and also thanks for triggering our first chicken rave of the night. Let's get big chicken raving going. There we go. Big chicken. Big chicken to the right, big chicken to the left. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is fun just to have a save that you do crazy stuff with, right? There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go on a destructive tour of your farm, this would do it. Now also we're going really fast because I have this speed cranked up. So this is the default speed of the tractor. Actually, close to default, I think. Let's set all this back to default. Yeah, -2. There we go. So that's a much more reasonable version of the tractor. But is it about the same as my running speed? It's a little faster. I think it's close to horse speed. What does it say? The speed modifier when riding the tractor. Yeah, it doesn't give you the formula. Why don't we set it to -5? That's actually slower than running. So again, if you wanted to balance it so that like the positive is you don't use energy, the negative is it takes longer to do things, you could do something like that as well. And again, you could put this at reasonable levels. So there's 2, which means that would be 2 in every direction. Right, so it puts it into a somewhat reasonable version. Alright. Let's reload all the destruction. Good question, though. Tractor's one that I haven't embraced in any of my playthroughs yet, and I want to. I think it would actually be a fun addition. I just haven't figured out how to balance it yet. The Joja Mart might send me a tractor at some point. Alright, so yeah, that's tractor mod. Okay, zoom level. Another one that all keybinds have been added or changed. Values page, miscellaneous page, randomizer page. So I think this basically does the similar thing to what the in-game zoom does. It just lets you go farther. Haven't played with this one. So it is one of those that I thought I would use, and I've just never had a reason to do it. So yeah, not one that I've played around with. Randomizer, I don't know what that does either. So that's one I'm gonna have to do some looking on. Okay, let's see, UI influence. So let's go ahead and let's go to, I'm gonna exit the game. So we'll pop back up our menu here, and I'm gonna turn off the UI info suite. And then we'll relaunch and see if we can see the difference, because I think it was conflicting with the informant mod. All right, so so here's where it puts it. App data, roaming, star drop, data, selected mods. This is in your user directory in Windows. This is what it uses, and that's where it puts all those shortcuts I was telling you about. So that's it, going through all of the mods, applying all of the things, setting everything up, and there we go. We have the menu popping up here. Hey, Parker. Didn't you leave earlier? It's good to have you back. Okay. Let me... Informant. Okay. About this mod. Is this the original? Oh, that's the aquarium one. We don't want that one. We want the one we installed. Okay, let's see if we can figure this one out. Mod for today no longer. Decided to pick it up, improved. Okay. Usage automatically is present in the game. You just need to move the mouse over the object you wish the information about. Okay, we will do that. Okay, so there you go. So change the tooltip. And again, I think UI Info Suite was messing around with this. I like that it has a timer on it. That's actually pretty good. Let's get some cheese going. Do I have any milk in my inventory? All right, there we go. So 3 hours, 20 minutes. Okay, liking that. Okay, so it has icons. So what do the icons mean? So the blue, obviously the museum, means that indicates whether the item is required for the museum turn-in. Now the question is, let's open up the museum here. Keep getting cutscenes. I need to just play through a lot of that stuff on this save. Okay, so if we put this over here, I see two icons. I see one icon that means what? Shipping bundle, field office, rare crow decorator, field office. Is that the, I wonder, let's see, collections. Don't quite did Did you do the desert? I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. Give me more details and I'll try to answer that one. So. Okay, I'm gonna guess it doesn't show the icons. Okay, it does have a configuration menu. Let's see if we can find that. Is it in here? Yeah. Okay, animals. Display information on animals, crops, tool tips, not watered, fertilized. Bundles decorator. Marks items that are needed for bundles. Okay, that's what that one probably is, I bet. Field office. So let's turn that off. Yep, okay, that's what that one was. Cool. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm liking this one so far. Display street stage. Museum, new recipes, rare crows, seed previews, sell price stuff. Okay, so if this is working the way I think it is, if we donate to the museum our prismatic shard. Yeah, now the little item went away. Okay, not too bad. Oh, yeah, I have before. In this save, this is mostly just a save I use to test out stupid mod things. But yeah, absolutely. That's one of the first things I do when I get to the desert. If I have a prismatic shard, is get the sword. That's a good one. All right. I think what was it, Deb? I think it was Deb K. Let me go back in the chat. This is a recommendation from, I think, Deb K. Yeah. I might play around with this one. This one, it feels a little cleaner. But it doesn't do... I'll have to see if it does everything that the other one does. Let's see. Let's check this shipping thing out. Did I still have milk? No, we need to get some more milk. Actually, cheese will work. Bundles, mayonnaise. Alright, let's grab some milk then. Because I don't think we shipped milk. Okay, so yeah, the little shipping box popped up because we haven't shipped milk. Crop tooltip. How many days till harvest? Trees, machines, animal tooltip. Currently only the hearts and animal of your pet are shown. Okay, that's cool. So you can see the hearts on your little animals. What about our cat? Dudley, evidently. Okay, that's not too bad. Although I am missing the... Let's see if there's a setting for it. Tooltips. Alright, let's try this. I'm going to exit out here. We're going to turn this one back on. I'm going to see if I can get them to play well together. That's our next goal. But here's the information on the configuration, what it does. I'm liking it though. As a general just mod that gives you information. Let's see what screenshots it shows. Ancient doll. So haven't shipped it, haven't donated it, or needed for a bundle, haven't donated it, and haven't shipped it. So I think if you're chasing perfection, it's a good way to keep track of things. Bee house. Pumpkin seeds. I'm not sure what these stacks are showing. Chinese version. That's kind of cool. New recipes. Hey, their cat's named Dudley too. What a coincidence. Okay, we got all the way around to those. Alright, let's load back up our science farm here. Hopefully OBS can find it. Come on. There it is. Okay. So here's what's happening. If you look, there's the informant mod. There is the informant mod with the UI info suite over top of it. Now UI info suite gives us the hand petty things, which I like. So let's see if we can get these two to play together. So machines. Let's go through our inventory as well. Okay, so you can see that I think it's UI info suite on the left and informant on the top. So show experience. I like all that stuff. Show when animals need pets. I like that. Show calendar, billboard. Show crop, barrel time. Show scarecrow sprinkler range. I usually have that on. Traveling merchant, rainy days. Okay, let's see if we can turn off this one. Okay, so that turned off the one that was popping up to the left. Level up, show experience bar, experience game, heart fills, animals, crop and barrel times. Let's see what that does. Okay. So the crop and barrel times took that off. So if you want a consistency between your machines, if you turn off that one, the item hover is the left one. So if you want to keep the actually, it appears... Okay, so it's the same info, just that's actually cleaner. I like that, I think, better than the UI info suite. Like, if we turn the hover back on... so you can see, these are both giving us similar informations, right? The one on the left is the UI info suite. It's giving us that this is part of the construction bundle. You can sell 1 for 15 and you're stacked for 30. If we look at the right, you can see that it is part of the construction bundle, and it has a little 10. Does that mean we need 10 of them? Don't know, because I don't have that unlocked yet. Yeah, so here, 2 stacks of 99. Don't need it. Let's see. Is it a catfish? Parsnip. Let's try the parsnip. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 5 of those and 5 golds. Okay, cool. So it's actually showing not only the bundles, but actually the colors of the bundles as well. The green one and the blue one. And also notice that it's showing you need 1 and 5. That's strong. I'm liking that. So yeah, so the green with the 1 means I need 1 parsnip. Now, it's just doing parsnip, so the number is gold. So maybe that's the indicator that they have to be gold. And then I need to ship 15 of these for completion. So let's do this. Let's ship 5. All right, let's save the day. Okay, that's very cool. So notice now on the little bin, it has a 10 instead of 15. So not only is it telling you that you need to ship 15 of these for the achievement, it's also telling you how many you have left to ship. So that's a good piece of data. I like this one. I think I might add this one to my suite. I like ones that just give us interface information, right? Let's see. Let's grab. How about a catfish? I know that's needed in a bundle. Yep, so that's just in a bundle. Let's see. How about wheat? Bok choy. Yep, so not needed in a bundle, but need to ship 15. Now, what about something where you have options? So let's think about something like... Okay, so for instance, the crab pot bundle in the fish tank. You need to ship 5 of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 items. One of those happens to be a lobster. So let's grab a stack of lobsters. Okay, so it's just saying you need 1 for that bundle. There'd be no way for it to know if you've done other things, so. Okay, I like it. I think with a little massaging, I might turn off the hover. They're doing similar things. This one's not finding the... Or UI Info Suite doesn't have... It has some of the bundle stuff. That's interesting. Notice that one's coming up. Maybe it's because I haven't unlocked all the bundles yet on this save. That's a possibility as well. Let's try this. Let's go over to... our Extra Life farm, because we've unlocked the community center, but we've donated very little to it. Okay, so those are in the shipped. That one's in a bundle. All right, so let's go ahead and grab ourselves some parsnips. Okay, so that's pretty good. We've donated a parsnip. But yeah, it's the UI Info Suite's not showing the bundle. Okay, what about wood? I've got wood somewhere. Okay, so yeah, UI Info Suite's seeing the wood. Oh, I wonder if it's not seeing it because it's not a gold parsnip. Let's grab some gold parsnips. Just in case. Okay, yeah. So this is showing both the informant. This only popped up the quality crops bundle because it was the exact one. So I might leave both those on just to see if one catches stuff or the other. All in all, though, Deb, I think I like it. I like the informant. Okay, let's get out of this one before I accidentally mess anything up, because that's one of our live saves. Okay, let's see. Skull Cavern, time speed, to do tractor. I think we've made it through all of them. So these are the mods that, like I said, this is my complete list of things that I use to just do things. Like this save is designed for testing, to test out different stuff. And you've seen my stripped down versions that I use for, you know, my different playthroughs. So if we go back to Stardew, you know, we have, like, here's a profile I created just for the automate mod. And right, so I just turned on the automate mod, my cheaty things, and my configurations. This is for my extra life playthrough, but I think I'm going to go ahead and add informant to the extra life playthrough. So let's save that. Our Joja playthrough, I think we're going to add informant as well. Actually, I don't think any of this will save, but that's okay. Or I'll have to reload the game for it to have. Mod streams, I can't remember why I created this profile. Probably just for testing. So what we should be able to do is, let's say we have a profile we don't like anymore. Mod streams, we should just be able to come in here and take that out. Is that the right button? No, it was not. I think it's this minus. Mod streams, there we go. Okay, so again, I have one set for none. So if I want to go completely vanilla, I have one set for all. If I want everything turned on. This was my movement speed video. So I just turned on the stuff that we wanted to be able to clear the farm and, you know, spawn things as needed. I've got one called test for some reason. And then this is the one we created just as an experiment to show how to use the system. So that is that. All right. Well, I think that covers most everything I wanted to hit on today. Let's check my notes. So we started off with what is modding. We looked at the wiki. You know, what's in the Stardew wiki. That is a good place to start. Obviously, everybody's configuration is going to be a little different. I'm doing mine on the PC, so keep that in mind as well. And that will get you through things. But if you're getting stuck or have any questions, you know, feel free to hit me up either on Discord or in the comments down below. I'll do whatever I can to help you guys out. We looked at the SM API, so Stardew Modding API, and that is the core executable that makes modding work. I showed you the Stardew software that I use for my mod management. Because I am jumping into different saves that have different mods, I find that a lot easier than manually setting stuff up. We talked a little bit about making it work in Steam. There's a few different ways to do that. The one that I'm doing is I just added the Stardew Valley Mod API EXE as an external program and linked it up that way, and it works just fine. We looked at the mods I have in my Joja run. We looked at the mods I had in my Extra Life run. We looked at all the mods, and I think that covers everything that we were going to hit on. So I will hold here for a minute, see if anybody has any other questions on modding, anything you would like to see. Even within the mods, you know, I know a lot of those I covered really quickly. We do have more in-depth versions of Automate and Chests Anywhere. In those, we actually went through and dug deep into every single setting. We did test runs and stuff like that. So if there's anything there that you want to see, let me know. Yeah, definitely in Professor mode. Let's see, the future streams, Monday, Tuesday, we'll be back in Joja. We'll do our Joja runs on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday. I think I'm going to keep that pattern going. Wednesday, I might be a little bit later. I've got an event that I run on Wednesday nights sometimes, and I think that's going to run maybe a little bit late. But what was I thinking about doing on Wednesday? I had an idea for Wednesday, and it's escaping me right now. Something configuration-y. It'll probably come back to me at some point. I can't remember if I wrote it down anywhere or not. So that'll be Wednesday, and then Saturday we'll go back into the making friends playthrough, which is us being a friendly influence on the valley. That's definitely the plan for that one. And I think it's going to be the cycle for a while. I might move that one to Sunday as well, and make Wednesday our mod review, mod checkout, game systems day. We'll play it by ear as we kind of move forward. I'm also kind of paying attention to what people are responding to, both in the data and in the comments. So if there's anything you want to see, feel free to leave a comment, ping me on social media. My goal is to provide things that people actually find useful and want to see. And whatever gets the response, that's what we'll continue to do, and or do new stuff. So, all right. I appreciate everybody. We'll probably cut this one a little bit short. There's no reason to go into detail that isn't necessarily needed. I appreciate it, Nancy. Hopefully it's helpful. Sometimes it's easy to get lost, and having somebody walk through at least what they did. And again, this is just my setup. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for everybody, but it is how I've got my stuff set up. There are different ways to do it, and that's up to each individual for sure. But I think we'll go ahead and say that's it for now. As always, we appreciate everybody's support. If you want to see certain things, again, ping me. I can't guarantee that we'll get to it, but if I can figure out a way to do it, I would be happy to either build videos or do live streams on content that you guys want to see. So that is what we're going to end with. So we'll end like we always do. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the community that we're building. Have a great night, everybody. Nancy, Dredd, Parker, Tiffany, it was good to see a new face. We will go ahead and say, like we always say, go watch, play, or create something great. Join a gaming community in whatever capacity makes the most sense for you. Have a wonderful rest of your night, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow for... Where are we at on Joja? I think we're at winter week 1. We're just going to be starting the winter, I believe. I think so. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we will catch you tomorrow. See ya.